We'll start with a niggun. And this reading from our Siddur is keeping in mind all that is happening in Israel and all the people involved, all the hearts and souls. Israel is a personal challenge, a personal religious issue. It is a call to every one of us as an individual, a call which one cannot answer vicariously. The ultimate meaning of the state of Israel must be seen in terms of the vision of the prophets, the redemption of all. The religious duty of the Jew is to participate in the process of continuous redemption, in seeing that justice prevails over power, that awareness of God penetrates human understanding. Abraham Joshua Heschel. Just taking a moment on your own to offer any silent prayer. It could be about the state of Israel right now. It could be for something else going on in your life. Just take a moment of quiet prayer. And take a deep breath and let it go. And this reading is for Shavuot, in honor of Shavuot. When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it. The whole Torah exists only to establish peace. Its highest teaching is love and kindness. What is hateful to you, do not do to any person. That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it. Those who study Torah are the true guardians of civilization. Honoring one another, doing acts of kindness, and making peace. These are our highest duties. But the study of Torah is equal to them all because it leads to them all. Let us learn in order to teach. Let us learn in order to do. So, Shavuot marks the wheat harvest in Israel and the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and what comes to my mind when I think of the harvest of wheat and the giving of the Torah is abundance. This abundance of harvest, this abundance of wisdom and knowledge that has been passed down to us and that we are stewards of, that we get to use and to share in our own lives, with those around us, with the world at large. And in order to receive this knowledge, in order to receive the wisdom, the Israelites had to get up, they had to show up and receive, and then they have to do the work and be consistent. And that is the secret sauce to success, right? Even today, we get up, we show up, we do the work, we be consistent. And this, I think the sticky part of all of that, I mean, besides the getting up part, is the being consistent. So we can start to harvest the rewards of the seeds we've planted when we are consistent, right? We don't plant a garden and then just leave it. We have to show up for it, be consistent in watering it and making sure it has what it needs. It's the same with everything in our lives. We have to be consistent and keep showing up. So that's the seed that I'm planting for you today as we move through our practice, which is going to be a more traditional yoga flow. We'll have a few standing poses that are traditional yoga poses. So if anything is not a match for your body, please feel free to modify and do what you need to do. Take breaks if you'd like to, move slower. What matters is that you got up, you showed up, and you're here. So let's do the work and have some fun. So let's start from, let's go ahead and come to our backs and bring your strap with you. And just start with some knees to the chest and just rocking back and forth and just connecting to your mat, to the space that you're in now. Squeeze your knees in and then let your knees fall over to one side into a little twist. And if your twist feels tight because it's your first one, you can always place a block under your bottom knee or between your knees and open up your arms and just take some deep breaths, just letting the upper body melt toward your mat and your lower body sink toward the floor. As you breathe into that rib cage that's exposed to the sky. Just breathe and let that fill up. Let's take one more big breath into this twist. Good, and then pull your belly in so your back is safe, and we're going to bring the knees back up to center. Squeeze them in again if you'd like to, and then take your twist over to the other side with your arms open into a T. Maybe the palms will face up just to keep the shoulders externally rotated. You can gaze over your arm away from your knees and breathe. Really inflate the rib cage. Good, and then bring the knees back up to center. Let's give another hug, but this time open up the knees a little bit wider. You can rock from side to side. You can do some ankle rotations. Just wake up the feet and the toes. See if you can get some cracks and pops out of your ankles and feet. And then when you're ready, grab your strap. We're going to bring the strap around the right foot to start. And slide your shoulders down away from your ears so that your arms aren't reaching out, but keep those elbows on the floor. And you can straighten the left leg, or you can keep it bent. And let's just open up the back of that right leg, flex your foot, point your toes towards your face, and breathe into the whole back of the leg, the hamstring, the calf. Every exhale invites those muscles to soften. Start to turn your leg inward and outward. So it's like you're drawing a little a U shape on the ceiling or on the sky with your heel. So the whole leg complex, the upper and lower leg bones, they all move together in unison. And feel that movement originating from deep in your hip socket. So there's no movement of the leg from side to side or away from midline. You're just internally and externally rotating the whole leg complex here. Just bringing some nice synovial fluid support into the hip. And notice your range of motion. How big is that U shape that you're drawing toward the sky? Oh, that feels like it's stirring some things around. Good. Go ahead and pause. Take the straps in your left hand and just start to cross your leg over your body. If your left knee is bent, you might want to straighten it. And depending on how you feel today, you might stop where you feel a hip stretch, or you might take it into a twist. But if you're taking it into a twist, keep your belly pulled in to protect your back. So take it where you need it today. Keep flexing the foot and pressing it into your strap. Good. Bend the right knee just a little bit. Bring it back up to center. And then hold on to the straps with your right hand and start to bring your leg out to the side, keeping that left hip rooted down towards your mat. Try not to let it roll up. Look for an inner thigh stretch. You can stop when you feel that. On your exhale, bring your leg back to center. And then on your inhale, open it out to the side again. And do this on your own a few times. So we're just warming up the inner thighs for our standing poses, lengthening and activating. Good. Pause at center. Hold those straps in either hand and start to bend your knee toward your chest or toward your outer rib cage and give those straps a pull. And maybe try to create the sensation of somebody pressing down on that foot to create compression in your hip joint, and go as far as you are comfortable going, and then extend the leg up to the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the knee, bring it in close as you can towards your ribs. Pull on the strap. And one more. Exhaling, bring it in. Good. Release your strap and cross your right ankle over your left knee or thigh. Take your figure 4 stretch here. So some of you might keep your left foot on the floor. Some of you might want to reach back behind your left thigh. Notice if your sacrum and sits bones lifted way off the floor. If they did, see if you can try to press those down away from you and press your right knee away from you. Flexing both feet. And feel free to just do a little micro movement of rocking from side to side just a little bit, and notice where you feel the stretch in the outer hip. This is one of those stretches where if we're consistent, then we get the harvest. So if we just show up every so often and do this stretch, it's going to be like we're starting all over again. So this is a great one to do on a regular basis. Okay, release that and just lie flat. Stretch those legs out on the floor and take a moment to let some blood flow come back to the right foot and leg, lower leg. And then go ahead and change sides. So left foot is up, strap is around the foot. And start to breathe into the back of the leg. Flex the left foot. If there's any tension in your shoulders and arms, see if you can let that go. And then start to internally and externally rotate the leg again. Notice how it feels those first few times. Drawing your U shape toward the sky. Good. Pause it right at the center. Hold the straps in your right hand and start to cross over your body until you feel a stretch where you would like to feel a stretch today, or where you need it. Keep your left foot flexed and pressing into the strap. Create some space in the hip joint. Keep your breath deeply flowing. Bend your left knee just a little bit to bring the leg back through center, and then change hands with your strap and start to open your leg out to the side until you feel a stretch in the inner leg. And then pause there and take a few breaths. Keep your belly pulled in, your right hip rooted down toward the mat. And then when you're ready, on your next exhale, go ahead and bring the leg back up to center. And then inhale, open the leg out again. Exhaling the leg up to center. Do that a few times. Every time, go out until you feel a little stretch, and then engage that inner thigh and really picture it coming back in, contracting to bring the leg back in. Last one. And then pause at center and hold both straps in your hands, and we'll start to do that compression in the hip now. So bend your knee towards your rib cage or toward the outer edge of your ribs, and flex your foot and pull on the straps to create a little extra pressure there in the hip, as much as is comfortable. And then extend the leg up to the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Press, pull. Breathe in, extend. Last time, exhale, knee toward the rib cage. And inhale, extend. Release your straps and take your figure 4 stretch on this side. Crossing the left ankle over the right knee or thigh. Flexing both feet. And letting yourself move a little bit in this stretch. Just looking for any places that might need a little extra breath or support or stretch. How's your jaw? See if your jaw could let go a little bit. One more breath. And let it go. Stretch out. Let your legs get long. Reach your arms overhead if that feels good for you. Just take a nice full body stretch. And then when you're ready, go ahead and roll onto your tummy. And we'll just wake up the erector muscles along the spine and wake up our adrenal glands. So we'll just do a couple of little cobras here. Bring the legs together. Palms are down near the rib cage, middle of the rib cage. Forehead's on the floor.
So I want you to pull up on your belly button like there's a little flame under there and you're trying to keep the belly away from the flame. Squeeze your legs nice and tight, and then inhale, lift the head and chest off of the mat. Slide your shoulders down away from your ears and squeeze your elbows in close to each other and close to your ribs. Little breath here, and then exhale down. Firm everything up, press the tops of your feet in, suck your belly up. Inhale, lift, keep your neck long. So no gazing up or out ahead of your mat. So keep a nice soft gaze down at your mat. And lower down. And last one. Inhaling, lifting, and exhale. Now, any way that you need to, you're going to come into your child's pose. So I'm going to come to my forearms and press my hips up and just walk my knees forward. Take whatever child's pose feels good for you today, wide knees or narrow knees. Do whatever feels good for your upper body. And let everything go. Let your lower back get nice and heavy. Feel your hips settling toward your heels. And just feel the humility of this pose, this humility. The humility that we don't know everything. There's so much for us to learn, so much to know, so much wisdom to receive if we only were to open ourselves and say yes. And then start to press yourself up to seated. So we'll do cat-cow. You can come onto all fours, or if it works better for you today, you can stay on your knees and do the rounding of the spine in cat-cow fashion. So you can choose whatever way you want to explore the range of motion in your spine, going from flexion, that rounding, to extension, to that cow shape where the sits bones are reaching back behind you. So connect your breath to your movement. Good. So you can thread the needle now if you're on your hands and your knees by bringing your right arm under your left arm and just laying the side of your head on the floor. Many of you have done thread the needle in our class lots. If you're on your knees, as I am, you can inhale, reach your arms up, and then just exhale, come into a little twist, reaching the left hand behind you and the right hand to your knee. And breathe in this seated twist. Inhale, come up to center, and then exhale, twist to the other side, or if you're threading the needle, go ahead and thread over to the other side, just breathing into this upper back twist, the thoracic spine right behind the heart. And inhale, come up to center, and then exhale. We're all going to meet with both, on our knees, with both blocks at the front of the mat. I'm going to do a brief lunge to warm up for our standing poses. So go ahead and bring your right foot forward. And the blocks are on either side of the front foot for support. And establish the distance of your front foot from your back knee in a way that feels good as you bend your front knee. So it's okay to come into a little deeper lunge here. We'll get into those inner thighs. So I would like you in this lunge to pull the belly in and access the muscles of your pelvic floor. So I want you to pull up on those muscles. It will help you if you think of drawing your back knee toward your front heel, like they're magnetizing toward each other. So you've got some activation in the lower body, so you're not just hanging on the ligaments of your pelvis. Breathe here. Good. Now you're going to press into the front foot and come up into a little bit of a higher lunge. So now we're a little more at right angles. And inhale the arms up. And then exhale, bring your left hand to the block inside your front foot and take a little twist. You're going to open up to the right side. And breathe here. If this is not working for your shoulder today, maybe if it's not warmed up yet enough, you can keep your hand on your hip or in your sacrum. That feels good. Whatever works. But keep your belly pulled in, because your next option, if you choose, is to lift your left hand up and come into a little twist with your arms in a T shape. Expect to wobble a little bit. That's great. It means you're growing, making new neural connections. And then wherever you're at, we're going to inhale and reach the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands back to the blocks, and we'll change sides. Finding your deep lunge. And as you find the deep lunge, remembering to keep the lower body active, pulling up on the pelvic floor muscles. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Magnetize front heel to back knee. And breathe. Start to press into the front foot so that you can lift both arms up if that works for you. Any and all of this is optional. Just remember that anytime you can choose to forego something. If you're going to take the twist with me, you can reach with your right hand to your front block inside your left foot and take a little twist. And possibly lifting the right hand up, open arms, the physical representation of a yes, of trust. And then wherever you're at, just both arms up, big breath in, and exhale. Go ahead and take a child's pose here, or anything that feels good for you. Release your back. Okay, the next thing that we'll do is meet standing with our massage ball. We're going to soften up our feet for some standing poses. And choose a foot and just start to get in there. Another exercise that's great to be consistent with is foot massage. Our feet get into these habits when they're in shoes, different kinds of shoes, or the way we stand, so we can have some really tight fascia in the feet, which actually travels into the Achilles and into the calf, all the way up the back of the body. So if you're consistent with foot massage, this will help to create balance in the entire body. Take a couple more passes, maybe back and forth, side to side. Ooh, breathe. And release. Go ahead and stand in mountain pose. So that's feet hip width apart, toes pointed forward, legs are firm, shoulders back and down, palms slightly turned toward the front. And feel your mountain on the side that you just massaged, the foot you massaged. Feel the connectivity of that foot up your leg and into the upper body. And compare that to the side that you haven't really worked on yet. And then we'll go ahead and switch to the other foot. Also, with any kind of myofascial release, right? The foot massage, foam rolling, even like the massagers that, you know, the vibrating massagers, those, anything that works with your fascia, it starts out uncomfortable and painful sometimes, which means that you need to do it. And the more you do it, the less it hurts. Oh, it's like the vaccine, right? Like, oh, keep moving your arm, they say. Keep moving it. And you're just like, I'm trying. That was my son today. Just trying to lift his arm. He couldn't even do it. But if you're consistent and you keep moving it, it works. It works it out. Take a couple more passes any way that feels good for you today. Maybe you just have a spot you want to settle down on and just breathe. Okay, place the ball off to the side and come back into your mountain pose. Rock up onto your toes and then back towards your heels with soft knees. Just do that a couple of times. And find what feels like center from front to back, and then shift your weight from side to side, right to left. Find something that feels really almost effortless, right? You're rooted into the ground. You lift your toes and imagine or try to spread them out and then place them back down without gripping. And then squeeze your legs. Internally rotate the thigh bones just a little bit, just a tiny bit of internal rotation. You're going to feel your outer hips, glutes kind of fire up. So suddenly standing that looks effortless is feeling kind of effortful. Pull the belly in. Check your rib cage, make sure it's not flaring forward, but it's actually sitting back over the hips, and the shoulders are also over the hips. Bring the shoulder blades together as your hands roll toward the front, and feel the strength of mountain, of Tadasana. This is like your Sinai, right? You've got this grounded, huge presence, unshakable. A sacred place where revelations occur all the time, right here in your body, in your own mind and soul. So from mountain, from our Sinai pose, all other poses come forth. So all of the actions that we do in mountain pose are the foundation and the root of all other poses. Keep that in mind. We're going to take warrior one. So your blocks can come to the front of your mat. Just so you've got them handy. I'm thinking which I need them for. Just keep them at the front of your mat. And the left foot's gonna step forward and line up your front heel with your back heel. Just about. You can always adjust that. And bend that front knee. So the back foot's on the mat. You're going to turn the foot in and the leg in a little bit. And then bring your arms up overhead. If this feels a little crunchy in the lower back, I want you to just reset by turning your waist to face away from the top of your mat, and then just the waist turns, rather than trying to get your hips square to the head of your mat. That's not necessary. Warrior one, and breathe. Pull the belly in. Now this is an option. You can take a look at your block at the top of your mat, right inside your front foot, or actually both blocks. I want you to reach down for them and come to the toes of your back foot. So you're in a little bit of a lower lunge here. You can stay right here, fire up the back leg. So really feel the hamstring and the glute turn on. You can stay here, or you can come into a twist like we did earlier in our warm-up. It's totally up to you. You get to choose. If you twist, you're looking toward your left side. You can stay here, or you can try to lift. That is very challenging, your bottom arm, and come into your open arm twist. Anything that you want to do is great. Bring your top arm down if it isn't already there. Breathe. And then flatten your back foot and come back up. Let's take a open arms pose here. So open the toes out to an angle, legs are straight, open up the arms, take a big breath. Star pose. Bring your hands to your heart, and then step your feet together and feel the beating of your heart right under your hands. And we'll take the same sequence on the second side, on the other leg. So the right foot is forward, lining up the heels. Feel the strength and rootedness of mountain pose in your warrior one. So there's the whole foot's connected. The legs are active. One more breath here. Exhale, come down to those blocks on either side of your front foot. Come to the toes of your back leg, and before you do anything, just really fire up the back leg. It's really important to keep it active in this pose. You might need to heel toe your front foot out to the side a bit, find stability. And right here, if you want to stay right here, is great. Otherwise, you can come into your twist of any kind. So one arm up, it could be both arms up as you stack your shoulders over your hips. Breathe. And then come back to face your blocks. And then go ahead and step your back foot up to meet your front foot and just let yourself hang here. Your knees can bend if need to. Release the weight of your head, create some traction in that cervical spine. And then when you're ready, you can pull the belly in, start to slide up your thighs with a flat back and rise up to standing. Good. Okay. Blocks will stay at the top of your mat. We're going to take triangle pose. So step your legs really wide apart. Your left foot is going to be the head of the mat. And the left toes are facing forward. The back leg is turned in. But maybe your heels are going to line up with each other a little bit. and your block is within reach. So we'll fire up our abdominals here first because we need our core for triangle pose. So open up the arms and then just start to slide your left fingertips out past your left toes. You're gonna feel your obliques turning on, beautiful. And then come on up, stack the shoulders over the hips, good. Now if you're hyperextending that front knee, you can put a little bend in it. I often will do that. Slide, 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 pull the belly in, good, and come up. And now the last one, we're gonna slide, go as far as you can, and then pivot those arms. The left hand's gonna find your block behind your, like on the outer edge of the foot side. So behind you. And that's going to encourage you to press your hips forward and open up through the front of the body. You can gaze up at your hand if you'd like, or if your neck is not liking that, you can look down or forward and breathe. Breathe here. Triangle pose. Okay, so now we're gonna bend that front knee and come into side angle. So just bring the inside of your, bring your arm to the inside of your left thigh. That right arm can stay up, but now if you want to, you can bring it at an angle as well. So you've got a nice diagonal line from your outer foot of your back leg all the way up to the fingers. Press your hips forward just a little bit so you're not leaning forward into this pose. Good. Now we're going to go right into reverse warrior. So on a big breath out, windmill your arms so that your back hand is now on your back leg and you're reaching up. Keep your knee bent in the front leg. Beautiful. And then float your arms back to a warrior two. And then turn your feet. We're going to go to the other side. So go ahead and bring your block or blocks with you. And now our right leg is our leading leg. Toes face forward. Open, straighten the front knee, the right knee, and start to slide forward. Good, pull your belly in, and then come on up. Exhale, slide. Inhale, come on up. Beautiful. Exhale, slide. Go as far as you can. Squeeze your quad on that front leg and find your block or blocks. Sometimes you might need more than one. And come into triangle. Press the hips forward. Reach that top arm back a little bit. Good. Now bend your front knee. Bring your right arm inside of the right thigh, and then you can reach the upper arm over your head, over your ear for side angle. Take a big breath in, and on your exhale, sweep the arms up, come into your reverse warrior. Keep the bend in your front knee. And then float your arms to warrior two. Good. And now turn your toes to face the lengthways of your mat. The toes are out at an angle just a little bit. And come into a goddess squat. So bend the knees as much or as little as you'd like to. Coming into goddess. And we'll start to do a little tapping. So tapping under the collarbones. Tapping the center of the chest, let out a nice ah, good. Ah, go tap and knock on your rib cage. Just really helping to support that immune system. Good, and shake out your arms. Inhale, sweep your arms up back to star pose so you can straighten your legs if you'd like, gazing up. Feeling maybe that energy of the Israelites standing at Mount Sinai, ready to receive the Torah, the teachings. What are you saying yes to? What in your life
are you ready to receive? That requires you to open your arms, open your mind, open your heart. We are going to bring our hands right over our heart. You can start to heel toe your feet together. Your feet are under your hips now. Take a moment just to be with your breath. We will practice tree pose now, Vrikshasana. So your left leg is your standing leg, the toes point forward. Squeeze that leg, get it nice and firm, and then choose where your right foot's going to land, not on the knee joint, above or below. And build your tree pose. So supports around you are great if they're stable. So you might be sinking into that left hip a little bit, so you can always bring your fingers to your hip bones and see, imagine you're just a little, like a level. You can level those hips out and then do what you would like to with your branches. Maybe they reach today, maybe they stay close to the heart. We show up, we get up, we show up, we do the work, and we're consistent. Even when it gets hard or challenging, or we get knocked off course or blown over, we just keep getting up, keep showing up. Release this side. Shake out that standing leg if you need to, and when you're ready, come into tree on the other side. So if you're looking at something that's not moving, that's really helpful. Keep yourself focused on something that will keep you from losing your balance. Press your foot into your leg and your leg into your foot. Feel yourself grow taller as you do that. Where's your breath? Keep it flowing and smooth. Good. Let's go ahead and gently step down from that, shake it out. And we're going to come onto our mat. Come on down. Let's use one block. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest for a moment. And then bring your feet back to the mat. And lift your hips and slide your block under your hips. So you could stay here in supported bridge. That's a nice little inversion. Or you can lift your legs up toward the sky. Choose your inversion. Let your palms open to the sky if that works for you. Start to bring your knees down towards your chest and release one foot at a time back to your mat. And slide the block out from under your hips. And just as we began class today, go ahead and take a twist to one side, using any supports you need to help that be more comfortable. And breathe into your twist.
When you're ready, moving through center, taking your twist to the other side. And then setting yourself up for Shavasana. This is a place where you might like to have a blanket under your knees or blocks or something under your head. So take the time you need to set up for comfort. Start to let all the muscles go in your body, all of your efforts. Feel the weight of your body as it surrenders to gravity. As your muscles and bones give way to gravity, notice the smaller muscles in your body, of your face, your forehead, around your eyes, softening and letting go. Your jaw. Allow your tongue to soften in the cradle of your jaw. Feel your whole spine, the back of your cranium and your spine, letting go from the top of your neck all the way down through your mid-back, your lower back, all the way to your tailbone and pelvic area, just letting everything go. This is the time where you receive the abundant harvest of your work, your mindful movement, where you've tended your own body and soul and can receive whatever is there to receive in these next few moments of Shavasana.
Yeah.
I invite you to bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. And perhaps say to yourself, I tend what needs tending. And I receive my harvest. And as you're ready, take your time rolling to your side and rising up, ready to greet this new moment in time. With your hands at your heart. And we end with this closing blessing. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free. May all beings be loved. And may all beings have peace. May it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shalom.